Biden's tax plan. How about we talk about Biden's tax plan? So check this out. Last week, I'm minding my own business. We're at our annual convention. We're preparing for it. We got a lot of stuff going on. I get an email from Goldman Sachs, from our advisor Goldman Sachs. Good people there. We like them a lot. They do good for us. Every time we run them, very, very helpful. This is not an article written by, someone on HuffPost. This is not an article written by a contributor on Forbes. This is from Goldman Sachs talking about Biden's plan to prepare CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners on what is going to happen when this takes place. Polls are trending. This is the email. Polls are trending in the Democratic Party's favor. And while polls are unreliable, they have fueled questions around what happens to the financial markets if the Democrats take the White House and or the Senate. Politics aside, we are having conversations with clients around what, if any, steps we should take over the next few months. A few topics of note are below. Let's go through 3 of these topics with them, okay, together. Number 1, Biden team has published their tax plan, and it outlines increased corporate tax rate, personal income rates increase, and capital gains tax rates increasing. Specifically, the plan outlines an increase in long-term capital gains, which is what? Anything above 1 year. So I buy a card for $500,000. I sell it 2 years later for $1 million. For $2 million, the capital gains taxes on that is what? $1.5 million. 500,000, sell it for $2 million. I'm paying capital gains on that additional $1.5 million I made.
Yeah, your cost base is tax-free.
1.5 million. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So the long-term capital gains taxes from the current 20% is going to 39.6. So he's not taking it from 20% to 25%, not 30%, not 35%, to 39.6%. It'll be the highest capital gains taxes is what we're talking about. Nearly 2x increase, right? That's number 1. Second is he talks about the current gift tax exclusion that stands at $11.4 million per person, roughly $22 million per couple. And, they're thinking about that this is going to go lower. During Obama administration, per person, that was $5 million. It's supposed to expire by 2025, but he's saying Biden's probably going to speed up that process, and it's going to bring it down to $5 million sooner. Okay, so this may not apply to a lot of people that are listening to this, but if you got money, this applies to you. Then you go a little bit deeper here into the tax plan, and here's what you notice. Biden would raise corporate tax rate from 21 to 28%. Corporate tax rate, that's 7 additional percent for corporate tax rate. Restore the top individual tax rate from 37 to 39.6. It went lower. It's going to go back to 39.6. His tax plan would raise between $3.35 trillion to $3.67 trillion over a decade if enacted in full starting in 2021. Okay, let me say that one more time. That means $3.35 trillion of American people is going to go to the government. That's really what that means, just so you know. $3.35 trillion over a decade. That's a lot of money. Biden's tax plan is highly progressive, increasing taxes for the top 1% earners by 13 to 18%, okay? And then continuously for people who are at the bottom. It's like, well, Pat, I'm not really affected by this. This is just for the rich people. Major proposals by Biden's campaign would raise $1.6 to $1.9 trillion over a decade from corporations. $1 trillion to $1.2 trillion will come from high earners from their income tax. $800 billion to $1 trillion from Social Security taxes on high wage earners. And then he's adding tax fees on bank fees, $100 billion, and a bunch of other things that he's doing. Meaning, taxes are going up. When I told you the capital gains is going from 20 to 39.6, Adam, what was your reaction to it?
It's pretty unbelievable. Like I said before, the only reason that I personally would vote for Trump is for the economy.
You're being serious. This is the only reason. Taxes.
The only reason.
Okay.
Money guy. That's I don't find him likable. I don't find him credible. But
is it reason enough? Do you think for people?
For what people?
Well, like a lot of people that maybe think that way.
That think what way, Tom?
That financially it makes more sense with Trump as president. I mean,
rich people, yeah. Rich people. I doubt the average working American's waking up.
Would you consider yourself a rich person?
I would say that I'm well off, yes.
I would consider you well off, but when I mean rich, because sometimes when you say rich nowadays, people think you're worth $100 million, $200 million. No. You're still talking
$1 million.
You're still talking to the people who make between $250,000 to $500,000 your income.
That's not what the average American. I'm not talking about those people.
You'd consider that rich, though? Would you say $250,000 to $500,000?
I would say that you're wealthy. You're
okay,
well off.
Fair enough.
If you're making over $200,000 as a family, $250,000 as a household income, The average American
I agree.
household, you know how much the average American household pulls in on
55,
average?
60.
$63,000,
There you
okay?
go.
So we're talking middle America, median income people here. They're not waking up thinking, Jesus, these long-term capital gains, I'm not sure. The estate tax, I don't know. They might go from $20 million to $5 million, the exemption.
Yeah.
Most people don't think that way. Obviously, being around you, thinking more corporate, thinking long-term capital gain, thinking about exit strategy, these are very pertinent items. But you know, me being in the insurance business, life settlement business, understanding long-term capital gain, this is some scary stuff, guys. So for people that are paying attention to taxes, if the highest long-term tax gain is 15-20%, and you're going to double it to the highest ordinary income tax number, 39.6, this is scary stuff. But big picture, I'm not even talking Trump. I'm not even talking Biden. I'm talking 10, 20, 30 years down the road, what have you. Taxes are going to increase in this country. Back when Reagan was an actor, you know Reagan's story about when he was acting?
President of SAG, or which story?
When he was an actor, you know what the top tax rate was? This is 1930s.
90%.
90 freaking percent in America.
Yes.
When I saw that, I'm like, what country was this in?
Yes.
So Reagan would say he would make 2 movies a year, because if he made a third movie, he'd make way too much money and get taxed at 90%. So this was some of the stuff he was
Brilliant
thinking.
tax strategy, obviously.
I'm making 2 movies a year, because if I make third, they're taking 90% of it. So this is scary stuff, but whether it's 15, 20, 39, this is really aggressive. Taxes are going up in this country. This is a conversation we're going to have for the upcoming decades, for sure, especially with our unfunded liabilities with Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, everything that's going on with the deficit, with the debt calculator, it's scary stuff. This is going to be an ongoing debate, but I think this is obviously going to affect anybody who's wealthy, long-term capital gain. The average American, I don't think they think about this kind of stuff.
I think one thing that would help Biden, if he said, okay, these tax increases are going towards infrastructure or some things that all they're saying is it's $3.6 trillion. So where's it going? Vaporizing? I mean, is it going to knock down the national debt? I mean, that's the big question.
Yeah.
Is it going to go to programs that maybe people don't support, right? Which is another political issue. But that's a lot of money. That's $300+ billion per year.
Here's the simplest way I look at it, Adam, and I hope this helps you out and this kind of makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
In life, I look at everybody as an advisor, okay? Investment advisor. Is that $3 trillion better in the private with entrepreneurs taking that $3 trillion and doubling to $6 trillion, $12 trillion, $24 trillion? Or is that $3 trillion better being given to politicians on what they can do better with that $3 trillion?
I'll take option A.
That's my point to you.